You know, actually recording yourself on camera is a lot harder than I thought. But welcome back to your week in Pokemon. There it is. Before we get started, I want to make sure that everybody has another opportunity to get into the 151 poster giveaway. I will be announcing the winner tomorrow. Other than that, let's just jump right into your week. So, starting off, we do have Destined Rivals being the May release. So many people were expecting the set to be Team Rocket, and what it shows to actually be is more of a mixture of multiple Japanese sets into one and some ancillary products like battle decks with some cards that we just don't have in the English translated cards. So it's not the Team Rocket set that we were all hoping for, but it will have Team Rocket exclusive cards in there, like the Mewtwo. It is, spoken about and confirmed here, but we will have some differences like the Ho-Oh from Ethan, and we'll have what looks like Misty's Gyarados, which is pretty cool. Cynthia's Garchomp, Steven's Metagross, and Marnie's Grimmsnarl, I think is what it's called. But yeah, it's not the old school, Team Rocket, returns Team Rocket, that like you know, criminal underground kind of feel. It's not going to be that way, and to some people that's a disappointment. I'm kind of on the fence about it. I'm happy to see what they have. Having these additional trainers is cool to me. I am kind of interested in seeing, what's going to come of it. So I'm going to come at it with an open perspective, but that is the first major thing. The second major thing is starting on the 27th of this month, you can get your opportunity to get some of these Illustrator promos. You can get them from GameStop and you can also get them from the Pokemon Center. So look out for that. Make sure that you grab a few of those because they're going to go by fast. Now, we wouldn't have a Your Week in Pokemon without a little bit of YouTuber drama. So this week, we did have a video come out from Nostalgianomics. Now, Alex posted a very strong first half in the video, kind of talking about persevering through difficult times and what we've experienced in the past and what the hobby should be expecting. And overall, very inspiring production there. But the second half kind of got a little rough. And the big thing here is that Alex was kind of basically saying, get over it. If you can't get past the scalpers and the investors, then you just need to kind of quit. That's what he said. He basically said, if you can't take this, then just leave. Right? Completely out of touch with the average person and what they're going through, and that kind of leads me to a little bit of a rant that I'm going to talk about in a second. But overall, we can see the general position that a lot of people have here. It was not good. I mean, the moderator here said, all right, I've gone through 500 comments, and with the amount of people I banned for threatening violence, I want to remind everyone that this video is literally rage bait. So, the perspective, even from the moderator side, is that Alex is FOMOing like anger towards him to kind of push views and stuff like that. And I don't think that's the case. I think that there is some, you know, anger that's justified towards him. But I guess the Redditors in particular were really, really upset with this one. So if you get a chance, go check it out. He posted the video about 3 days ago. Go listen to what he has to say. It's not horrible. Like, again, in the beginning, it makes a lot of sense, right? But it does kind of get pretty dicey towards the end. And overall, I mean, the sentiment is do not buy from scalpers. Like, people are so angry right now in this hobby, and it is a real problem. So before we get on to more of the news stuff, I want to take an opportunity to really talk about the situation with the scalpers and the investors and the collectors and the players and kind of my nuanced take on it. As we know, Alex has a lot of people who respect him and a lot of people who just hate him, right? And one of the people who does have this like mutual respect, I would say, is Pokey. Now, Pokey and Dr. Applesauce were at Collectathon and they had a great time and everything, but they did this interview together. And I wanted to discuss the general premise of the interview and then my personal reaction. I even left a comment on the video about this. But the general idea was how damaging this hobby is going through. basically from a greed perspective, right? We're having greed from a flipping group. We're having greed from scalpers. We're having greed from distributors, and we're having greed from the consumer itself, right? The consumer is forced to buy into things at mass quantities in fear of not being able to get it later. And it's basically increasing the issue here. Think about it as if we like were running out of gasoline, right? You would go to the pump and you wouldn't just fill your car. You'd fill your tank, you'd fill your portable tank, you'd fill your other car, you would fill your like whatever you have, right? Everything gets full, which is not a normal action for a normal consumer. So, let me go ahead and read you my comment. So, here's what I put. I said first, great interview, love it. I just want to add another factor. Honest new sellers are priced out or locked out from the hobby and making it more of a culture of scammers and scalpers. And what I mean by that is that as we're having a lot of people fighting and arguing, you're losing that natural demand and growth from someone who wants to be an honest person in the hobby and kind of feel like, vending and having a shop that maybe, the area doesn't have one or whatever. Like those people are getting kicked out of the hobby. And here's why. The barrier of entry without being seen as a scalper is so hard. So we've heard from the perspective of collectors, established sellers, the players, but the one thing we didn't discuss is that this affects new sellers who want an honest and fair shot at this, right? I put the market is so saturated with sellers and flippers that it makes being a good one kind of hard at this point. There's nothing to buy from distributors or wholesalers who haven't already marked up the price to market price. I personally went into this wanting to be a fair guy, selling products at shows or on eBay, but now I'm sitting on a large amount of stock that I'm terrified to sell because of the reputation I may get for selling at this time. It's a weird spot to be in. So here's the issue. I have product that I want to give to consumers, right? But I can't move the product out without it being completely scalped from me if I go too low of a price. And if I don't go high enough, then I can't buy new products because I have to cover my basis because the market is so high. And also, this is really important to keep in mind. If I try to sell products at a super high price, it's not only for the idea of buying new product from someone else by making a decent enough profit to where I can get more stuff from my shop and I have to be competitive to their asking prices. So if they're asking for something too high, I have to sell higher to then be able to buy more things. And it's just constantly going up. The whole market is going up. So I have to sell at a higher amount. Obviously, this is basic, economic stuff. But the more important issue here is that if I do that and I'm at market price with the anger that we're seeing in the community, I run the risk of having my reputation be damaged as being someone who took advantage of them, right? The reviews could come back saying negative things. And overall, my situation could be even worse because I don't have the history to be able to take that and run a business and be successful. If I go and try to, take advantage of the situation here and try to price way too high, then basically no one's going to want to buy from me in the future because I'm a bad guy and I don't want that and I don't want my customers to feel that way. So it puts me in this really weird spot. And I also wanted to kind of make that clear. And so I really did like kind of go in there and I went to like Magazine Exchange, as you can see here. And this is not like a real distribution, like it is, but it's not designed for like massive online stores. It's kind of a smaller one. And basically they said, hey, buddy, we're not going to take any more applications. Sorry, you're out. Okay. Well, then where do I go now? I probably go to online vendors like Smoke and Mirror Hobby, right? They're sold out of everything. So now where do I go? I have nowhere to go other than retailers, right? The issue with going to retailers is you have this no matter what happens. So again, now I'm put in a position to where if I want to be an active member of the, you know, hobbyist community as in providing supply, the point I'm trying to make is that it puts me in a weird spot where I can't actually do anything that's sealed. I have to kind of go more into like independent cards, uh, sell these, for $1 or whatever. But that doesn't really fit fit the need of doing like a physical booth. Like you can do cards, and now the big thing is that you're gonna go and buy, slabs, right? Like that's gonna be the big next thing is just a bunch of slabs. Okay, all that aside, we're going back to the regular stuff. So first, we're gonna go into the Pokemon Center, and we have the Gardevoir Poke Plush that is currently available for pre-order. If you're into this, have you or a loved one ever wanted to sit next to a life-sized Gardevoir? Now you can. The craziest part is that these items shoot up in price as soon as they are sold out. So, I mean, would I personally buy one? No, but people like them. People absolutely like them. So if you're into it, pick it up now before it sells out. Speaking of things that are sold out, every ETB on the website is now gone. There's nothing left. Nothing. I hope that everyone got a chance to get the Shrouded Fable. This is crazy because Shrouded Fable was at 20,000 inventory 3 weeks ago. It was bought 20,000 times in 3 weeks. Shrouded Fable got ripped into off of FOMO. Unbelievable, right? But there's nothing. However, there was one thing, which was there was a restock today in the middle of the day for no reason on a random Wednesday. We had more Journey Together, and the site actually got to use its queue system, and it worked pretty well. I personally was not available at the time that this was available, so I couldn't get any. But I've seen plenty of people do videos and stuff, and it worked out great. So, keep an eye on the site. You never know at this point. They're throwing some curveballs. It doesn't seem like they're going to follow the old tried and true strategy of just throwing it up at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. It could be at any time, any day. So pretty cool. The next thing was I wanted to talk about, missed opportunity, right? We missed the opportunity with Journey Together. It just happened, right? If you're watching this and you didn't get it, you didn't get it. But I do see kind of a hole here, okay? And that's with Twilight Masquerade. Twilight Masquerade is a Pokemon Center Elite box that I find completely undervalued. This is the set that has the Greninja, right? Twilight Masquerade is a very nice set that is just kind of sitting there. Like, and I know it's sold out here, but I'll get to it. If you get on TCG Player, and keep in mind, you still have to pay for shipping. You still have to pay for taxes, right? Taxes and shipping here. If you get on TCG Player, $94.25 shipping, right? The market price on it is $92. This really isn't that bad when you look at it from the shipping cost of the Pokemon Center. This might be a pickup, okay? Opportunity. This is under $100, and it's the set with the Greninja, probably one of the most valuable cards of the Scarlet and Violet era. And I mean, look at Temporal Forces, $140 for one of these. That set was the one right before, so I mean, that's a huge, huge difference. And Temporal Forces is not as loved as a set as Twilight Masquerade. I don't know if it's because it's an Ogerpon, and that's the big thing, and maybe because it's, Walking Wake, which is Suicune. But even then, Iron Leaves with Virizion or whatever his name is, still $130. So I'm not sure what the deal is here on these prices, but I see massive opportunity with this box. I mean, look at the Paldean Evolved, or the Paldea Evolved box. $250 for this box. That's nuts. And I know it's all tied back into the promos. I get it. I do. But that's just crazy. Okay. So we talked about the market a little bit. We talked about the situation with the general investor perspective, right? We talked about TCG Player. We talked about values. We talked about the new sets coming out. We talked about the drama. I want you guys to also be aware of some of the scam techniques that have been coming through the pipeline. And I can't confirm all of these, but I have heard of them from various sources, okay? So I have a little note here I'm going to read. The first one that caught my eye, and I guess that there's been a post about this online that's floating around. So again, sources are trust me bro here, but apparently it's a technique now where people are taking a piece of paper that says, sorry, the release of this set has been delayed due to shipping delays or something like that, or we're sold out. They'll take the piece of paper, they'll stick it on the glass of the shop that they're sitting in front of, or like by a Target door or something like that. And then the idea is that when people drive by, they see it, they're discouraged, they leave, and then they'll say like come back tomorrow, it'll be in stock tomorrow, whatever, right? Then when the shop opens and a couple hours later, no one's there. There's no line. The shop owner gets there, but he can't prove who did what. He just shows up and there's a sticker saying, "Hey, come back tomorrow. We don't have anything today." And he goes, and then there's one guy standing in line or maybe a couple, you know? So that's something to keep an eye out. If you see anything like that, verify with the shop. And this is a crazy one. So people are following the vending machine delivery people, right? They're driving around and they're finding the cars that the delivery guys are in, and they'll literally follow them from store to store that have the vending machines and buy out the stock. But there's even reports of people putting air tags on the vehicles that are delivering this. So what happens is they go put it under the bumper or whatever, and then they're looking at them traveling on their cell phone, right? They'll know where they are on the map on their cell phone. That's crazy. And I've heard that some people actually got caught doing this and now are, facing prison time for this because that's straight up stalking. So, if you are, related to any of that, maybe don't do it. And if you are a delivery person, be careful. People are getting a little crazy. Also, be very safe. There was another statement. I wish I had sources for you guys. I really looked for it. Maybe it's all just a bunch of BS. But there was also sources of people actually being sent into the hospital over fights now. Um, I did watch another video from Pokémon, and he did say that like a child went to a child's hospital because of like the scalper community. Like they literally got into it and they hurt a kid. So be mindful of that too. You might, start throwing hands, which was a joke before, but now it seems like it might be reality. The other thing, this is a classic. If there's like a sale coming out or whatever, people will go and hide the products. They'll take the ATB or ETBs and they'll go stick it somewhere like in the clothing rack or something like that. So that one I've already talked about in a previous video. But just, be aware of that too. And I've definitely found products just walking around checking random shelves. Like I've seen them like kind of hidden, hidden, just kind of sitting there so you can grab them and then just enjoy your day. And then the final one, and there was a video floating around at a Sam's Club of this, but people are now going straight to the managers and giving them a commission or bribing the manager for the product. So we did see this happen with a guy who basically took a whole pallet of the Sea and Sky boxes and just gave them to one guy. He told the entire line that was waiting, yeah, don't worry, you'll get yours. Don't panic. And then sold them all underneath them all, right from underneath to some random dude. So the scalpers be doing some shady stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. This one is a little bit more of a ranty kind of, not so much news. It's more just like a state of the market in general and how to maneuver it. Again, the big things here was Rocket is not Rocket. It's a mix. Singles is the way to go. Being a newer seller is very difficult and it's going to take some creativity. And you have opportunity in looking at some products that are not being looked at. Now, I said the Shrouded Fable was a big one. People slept on it. It obviously exploded. I'm telling you, this seems extremely undervalued, at least to me. I'm going to probably pick up a few of these myself. I'm not giving you advice, but if I'm looking at it from a, prismatic type of perspective, this seems like an anomaly. Other than that, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you. Bye.